We're well into our third month of physical distancing due to the coronavirus, and we're starting to recognize some consequences from all this time of separation. I read an article in one of the major news sites today about a few individuals who have strictly quarantined themselves, some for health reasons and others, quite frankly, out of fear. And all of them are struggling. The article interviewed a psychologist who came to the following conclusion: humans are not meant to be alone. Well, I'm not a psychologist, and honestly, I've had it pretty easy. We live in a county that has the lowest number of cases of coronavirus in the state, and South Carolina is not one of the states that is more highly affected. Our isolation has not been severe compared to many. But even here, I see the effects of isolation on myself, on my family, and my church, my community. And that psychologist was right. She may not realize it, but she was affirming one of the most foundational biblical truths about humanity. And it comes from Genesis 2, verse 18, when God said, "It is not good that the man should be alone." When he created Adam, God's evaluation of the first man was this: he will not thrive if he remains alone. We were created for relationship. We need community. We need to talk about our experiences and to share our joys and sorrows. We need to debate big decisions, and we need to put our heads together to solve big problems. We need to fail and offend each other. And then we need to forgive and comfort each other. We also need social gatherings. And I'm not talking about getting out in public and going to the grocery store. We need to be with groups of people for common purposes. For the last couple of years, I've been attending Rotary Club meetings on Tuesdays for lunch. I need that time because it makes me better connected as a serving, contributing member of my community. Our children need to be with us in social settings. Children need to watch their parents interact with others so that they can learn how to have conversations and so that they can see what it looks like to be respectful of others. I'm concerned that our education system is going to swing too far toward online instruction. Sometimes we need the classroom because the sense of community helps us to learn better. And yes, I'm saying that as a card-carrying homeschool parent. We are hardwired for human connection. We can't thrive if we stay too long like turtles, keeping safe inside of our shells. But here's the other thing I learned from God's statement about Adam. God sees our loneliness, and it grieves his heart. God sees our isolation, and he says, "That is not good for my beloved." God delights in our togetherness. God smiles at our reconciliations. God celebrates at our weddings. And God shows up when we gather in his name. You know, there's one promise that God gives his people all throughout the Bible, from the beginning to the end. And it's almost like a refrain from a song, and it goes like this: "I will be with you, and I will be your God, and you will be my people." If you are stuck at home and restricted from being with other people, hold on, dear friend. Your tears are not the only tears being shed. God weeps over your isolation too. And God has promised that when you keep your hope on his Son, all the waiting will be worth it. But for those of us who are beginning to re-engage with the world around us, we've got some work to do. We're going to have to retrain ourselves to connect again. And that's going to take a little bit of courage and a whole lot of trust. When the New Testament church was just forming in Acts chapter 2, here's how it was described. "And they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship and to the breaking of bread and to prayers. And day by day, attending temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts." We humans are not meant to be alone. We are designed to worship and to grow and to thrive in community. You should be mindful of those who have greater health concerns and need further distancing, but now is the time to prepare your hearts to begin to reconnect with people again. It's time to start poking out our turtle heads from underneath our pandemic shells.